Hello Teacher Sean friends and fans, welcome back to yet another educational English video. I am your new dad, and today I'm a little bit hungover and I'm a little bit hungry. So I've talked to you guys on Discord, and a lot of you guys say that you eat a lot of fried rice, a lot of other crazy garbage. So we're gonna learn English by cooking a relatively healthy meal, and not so much cooking. We're going to be making sandwiches. We have two sandwiches that we're going to make today. One is called a cold cut sandwich or a lunch sandwich, and the next is going to be a nice bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, which is great in the morning and also good for lunch too if you're really hungry. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let me know in the comment section. Now, let's learn some English. Alright. So there's a few things that we're going to need to make these sandwiches, and obviously bread is going to be one of them. This type of bread we call sandwich bread in the United States. I'm sure you've seen this, and this is readily available everywhere. And then you have this type of bread, which is called a roll. It's called a roll because it's round and it can roll. We're also going to need a bit of lettuce. We're going to need some tomatoes, some onions, and also in my fridge, so we're also going to need some cheese. I got two different types of cheese. We're going to need some meats, because a good sandwich needs meat. If you're a vegetarian, go fuck yourself. And then we also need to have a bit of egg, okay? And that's going to be obviously for the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to cut the lettuce. Look at this lettuce. Look how ugly this is, right? If you can't, you got the lights a little bit bright, but there's brown shit all over that. So we're going to peel that off until all we have is the fresh greens. So the first thing that we're going to do is build a nice little pile of lettuce, all right? So I like to take the lettuce and give it some quick cuts, pull the stem out, the middle part, and then we're going to take this nice beautiful piece of lettuce and we're going to shred it, shred it, shred it, shred it, shred it up. One of the greatest things about a sandwich is that nice crunch you get from the lettuce. And you can hear that crunch, that crunch, crunch, crunch. Alright, let me put this in a bowl. I'm going to put that in a bowl. Now, we want to find ourselves a nice little tomato. Tomatoes are in season in the summertime, but these tomatoes don't look all that great. They're a little bit pale, and to remedy that, what we're going to do, after we cut this little middle part out. Scoop that out, we don't want to eat that. We're going to slice these nice and thin, not too thin. Want a little bit of meat on those. So what we're going to do is take a little bit of salt, and we're just going to sprinkle the salt on top of the tomato, just to make sure that it keeps a little bit of flavor, right? The salt's not going to make the tomato taste salty. What it's going to do is just bring out a little bit of that flavor that's already inside of it. It's going to bring out that acid, the acidic qualities of the tomato, and then bring a little bit of flavor back to life. So we're going to pop those. We'll just put that right on top of the lettuce for now. All right. So this is something that you need to prepare a little bit in advance. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this nice little onion and we're going to cut it very, very thin. Okay, you want it to be as thin as possible. And we're also going to take a nice little pot like this, and we're going to put the onions inside and we're going to soak them for like 1 hour with a little bit of vinegar. And what this does is makes a really, really delicious little condiment for you, like a pickle almost. Pickled onions. Now I did this, so this right here is called vinegar, by the way. My vinegar is just a regular Chinese vinegar. You could pretty much use any vinegar that you want. Now I did this about an hour ago already, and this is what it comes out looking like. They keep their crunchiness, they're very crispy, but they're very delicious. So we have all this set to the side. I'm gonna rinse off my cutting board and clean it up, make it nice and fresh for more stuff to go on, because we're about ready to start assembling the sandwich. Let's take our sandwich bread. We're gonna do the cold cut sandwich first. So take 2 pieces of bread, just a little bit of mustard, a little bit of mayonnaise, and if you don't have this stuff at home, feel free to just use whatever you do have. This is mayonnaise. It's very delicious. I believe most of you probably have mayonnaise at home. Mustard, on the other hand, isn't as common where most of you guys are from. It comes in a yellow container, usually. Very delicious. I don't know if it's healthy for you, but we're gonna use it anyways. So we're just gonna spread that out nice and even. And on this side with the mayo. We also call mayonnaise, we call it mayo too, so if you want to be cool and hip, you say mayo instead of mayonnaise. Alright, now let's put 2 tomatoes on the bottom. Alright, then we are going to take, on the other side with the mustard, we're going to take some cheese. I'm using Gouda cheese, and you can feel free to use whatever cheese you want. Cheese is good. Cheese is good. And so let's just lay the cheese over the bread. Now, we're going to take a bit of that lettuce, pile that lettuce on there. I personally like more lettuce the better. If you see any pieces like this where it's really big and veiny, don't use that, get rid of that. That's not going to taste very good. But then we'll pile this on right here. And then let's get our meat. So we have a couple different types of meat today. The first one that I'm going to put on is called turkey. Turkey comes from the animal, the turkey, so it's quite easy to remember that one. So we're going to put 1 piece here, another piece right here. Okay, we can roll them up just a little bit, and then a 3rd piece just to fill in the outside. If I can get this taken apart. Put that guy right here. Boom. Next, we are going to use some ham. Now, some of you guys don't eat ham, and that's okay. Ham comes from the pig. Ham is pink. That's how you can tell that it's ham and not turkey or anything else. So we're going to go the opposite direction and just lay them over, just like we did with the turkey. So here's number 2. That's a half piece. Whatever. All right. So now all we want to do is just assemble our sandwich. So we're going to take the 2 sides. We're going to piece them together like this. Take our knife that's beautifully waiting for us on the opposite side, and we're going to cut it. And now you have a delicious and healthy lunch or breakfast or sandwich for you. So you can't beat that. The next thing that we're going to make is the egg and cheese sandwich. The egg and bacon and cheese. This is going to require us to cook. Okay, so we finished our first sandwich. We're ready to move on to the next, but just to prove to you that the sandwich is great, so you can come take a look. Jackson, come on over here. Jackson's the cameraman. We've already been dabbling into these a little bit. So to prove it, we're going to take more bites out of it and show you how delicious this actually is.
Perfect.
It's fresh, healthy, filling, and it's just yummy. I mean, the most important thing is that it's delicious. Now, the next sandwich we're going to make, not as healthy as this, but still very, very delicious, if not even more delicious than this one. So, stick around. We'll be right back. Okay, so this next recipe that we're going to do is also very, very easy. All you need to have are some eggs, the lettuce and tomato that we've already cut, the onion that we prepared that I totally forgot to put on the last sandwich, and a bit of cheese. This time I'm using a different cheese. You could use whatever cheese you want. I personally like American cheddar cheese for that. That's usually an orange cheese, and it's very delicious. You could also use butter if you have it, but it's not necessary. Regular vegetable oil will work. And the meat that we're going to put on this is called bacon, and it has a very specific look to it. Okay, so we're gonna get cooking on the stovetop for this one. So just sit back and enjoy, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun as we make this. And I hope you're learning stuff, right? I guess it really depends on how many vocabulary words Bobby is putting in this. Bobby, make sure they're learning words. Alrighty, so we're getting the fire started. We're gonna pop some butter in here. I'm gonna throw quite a lot. This, like I said, this one's not as healthy as the other sandwich, but throw some butter in there. We want that butter to melt. We we also want to cook this on a low heat too. You want it to be low, obviously, so quick tip. So, this is a high flame, this is very hot, this is a low flame. So when someone says you cook it on low, this is a mid flame. All right, we want to cook this on low. Okay, we want the butter to melt, and cooking eggs is not a race. It's going to be a very slow process because we want to make sure that we have all of it going nice and smooth. So as this is going, you'll have to speed all this up, dude.
2,000 years later.
All right, we're about there. So what I'm gonna do right now is pour the egg mixture in. Okay. And I'm gonna let all of this just kind of move around the pan a little bit. And once I start seeing a bit of curdling, which is when the egg starts to form together, what I'm gonna do, you can see a little bit, I'm just gonna start pulling in. I'm gonna constantly pull in, and pull in. And you wanna use this. This tool is a spatula. A spatula is really good for making this kind of eggs. And as you see, as I'm pulling it in, it's starting to get more and more thick. We're just going to keep doing that. We're just going to keep doing that.
One eternity later.
Alright, so once you get the eggs to a spot like this, you can put the lid on and just let it sit for about 30-40 seconds. And after about that 30-40 seconds, the eggs are completely done. We don't want them to be too crispy on the outside. We don't want them to be too gooey on the inside either. So this is a really good consistency. I'm going to take these and I'm just going to pour it into a bowl. Then I'm going to take the bacon and I'm going to relight the grill. Okay, I'm going to keep the heat on medium this time, and I'm going to take a few pieces of bacon and I'm just going to lay them in the pan. Bacon is loud and proud, so you just let her go. And one thing that never hurts is just a little bit, another knob of butter. Depending on the quality of bacon you have, I live in Shanghai, so you can't get very good bacon. I know some of you guys down in Mexico can get very good bacon. You can't get good bacon here in China. So you just gotta work with what you got. So throw a little bit of butter in the pan if you can't find good bacon. If you do have good bacon, you know you don't have to do that. And we're just gonna let this go. We're gonna let this go for about 5 minutes. Keep moving it around, get it nice and crunchy, and it's an easy day. I'll see you in a few minutes.
A few minutes later.
Whew. Nice. Okay. All right, so the bacon is almost done here on the stove. And at this point, we have to be very quick because we want to piece everything together while it's nice and hot. So I'm going to take my rolls out. I'm going to cut them. And I'm going to use a bread knife for this so I don't make anything too crazy. So we're just going to slice them in half, okay? And boom. Take this one and slice it in half. And boom. All right, so just like before, we're just gonna kind of pile everything on. You got your bottoms, you got your top. You got your bottom, you got your top. We're gonna put cheese on top. We're gonna take the onions we made earlier. We're gonna put a couple down on the bottom. We're gonna just put a couple down there. You don't need too much. They have very good flavor. They're very strong. So just break them off, put them in there. Nice. All right. Then we're going to take these eggs. We're going to split these eggs in half. And we're going to put that directly on it. You see these steaming. These are steaming. And we're going to put these eggs right here on this sandwich. And we're going to take our bacon hot off the stove. Woo! Woo! You got that still sizzling. And we're gonna drape that over the cheese. About 2 pieces per sandy. That's short for sandwich. And there we go. And your bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich is ready. Ready for consumption. Careful piling it all together. There we go. Alrighty. Alright, and so all of the cooking and sandwich assembling is done. So, like the last one, I'm going to cut this one in half to show you the cross-section. It doesn't look that good. It doesn't look that good, but I promise you it's going to be the most delicious thing you've had in a long time. So, Jackson, why don't you hop on in here?
Alright.
We'll prove it. So, we're going to doink it.
Cheers.
We're going to take a bite. Tell me that is not a fantastic breakfast sandwich.
That is so good.
Alright, so just to quickly recap some of the things that we learned today, because this did happen pretty quick, we learned words like sandwich bread. That's the bread that's white on the inside and it's cut very thin so you can make a sandwich with it. We also talked about rolls. Now these are specifically called dinner rolls. There's many other types of rolls out there. We talked about vinegar being the white umami kind of sauce. We talked about mayonnaise being the white sauce that you put on food, mustard being the yellow sauce that you would put on food, and we talked about salt, pepper. We also talked about the spatula, so keep these words in mind, and we talked about deli meats. So deli meats are just cold, thin-cut meat that is meant to be put on a sandwich. Okay, so you have turkey, ham, even bacon's considered a deli meat, even though you don't often put bacon on sandwiches, unless you're totally American. That's a very American thing to do. And then we talked about cheese, which you guys know what cheese is. So listen, stick around for a few moments of affirmation.
L'espoir est un plat bien trop vite consommé.
Now for some much deserved affirmation. I just wanted to quickly tell you how proud of you that I am. Every time you're watching these videos, every time you're watching even other educational YouTubers, you are improving your language skills, you're improving yourself as a person. So stand up straight, put your head back, put your shoulders back, keep your head up. That's what I wanted to say. You're doing awesome, and I'm proud of you, and I love you.
Dans la vie, jamais on ne me dira.
And now here we are at the end of the video. I just wanted to quickly say, if you haven't done it yet, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. And join the Discord. We got a lot of great stuff going on over there. You guys are constantly chatting in the Discord. And if you're still around, let me know by saying, I want to see a chicken hamburger in the comment section, and I'll give that a heart. That's your way to let me know that you're still here. All right, see you next time.